Ladies and gentlemen, there is a quiet force within you, so powerful, so steady, so luminous, that the moment you recognize it, your entire life begins to shift. Today's message is titled, You Believe in Yourself. Believing in yourself activates a quiet yet extraordinary power that often lies dormant within you, waiting to be acknowledged. Most people underestimate how deeply their inner beliefs shape the trajectory of their lives. When you truly decide, to trust in your own potential, something begins to shift on a level that is both internal and external. Internally, you stop treating yourself as someone who is uncertain, unprepared, or unworthy. You begin recognizing your strengths, your resilience, and the unique combination of gifts you carry. This recognition generates a subtle but profound confidence that starts influencing your thoughts, your choices, and your energy. Externally, the moment you step into this belief, the world responds in ways that often feel almost mysterious. Opportunities you once overlooked begin to reveal themselves. People start treating you with the respect and certainty you display. Circumstances seem to move in sync with your intentions because you are no longer approaching life hesitantly. You are approaching it with a sense of inner clarity. Believing in yourself is not about ignoring your flaws or pretending everything is perfect. It is about understanding that while imperfections exist, they do not diminish your worth or limit your potential. When you believe in yourself, you approach challenges differently. Instead of seeing obstacles as proof that you should stop, you see them as stepping stones confirming that you are moving in the right direction. This inner shift transforms your relationship with fear and uncertainty. Fear becomes a signal to grow rather than a command to retreat. Doubt becomes a momentary whisper rather than a defining voice, and uncertainty becomes an open field of possibility where you are free to imagine new outcomes. This belief also strengthens your ability to persevere. When you trust yourself, you do not give up easily because you know your efforts matter. You understand that growth is a process, not an instant reward. You begin to appreciate small steps, knowing they accumulate into something meaningful. This steady, grounded confidence pushes you to take actions you might have previously avoided. Speaking up, trying something new, embracing opportunities, or stepping outside your comfort zone. Every time you act from a place of belief, you reinforce the idea that you are capable, resourceful, and equipped for the path ahead. Ultimately, believing in yourself is the catalyst that awakens your inner power, the creative, intuitive, determined force that has always been there but can only express itself when you open the door from within. Self-belief is often misunderstood as pride or arrogance, but in reality it is something far more grounded, gentle, and transformative. When you believe in yourself, you are not claiming that you are better than others or incapable of making mistakes. Instead, you are aligning yourself with the truth that you are a capable, creative, and meaningful part of life. Alignment means recognizing the inner wisdom and strength that already exist within you, the same inner force that has carried you through challenges, inspired your ideas, and kept you moving even when circumstances felt heavy. When you stand in self-belief, you are simply choosing to trust that inner force rather than silencing it with doubt or insecurity. It is a quiet, steady confidence that says, I may not have all the answers, but I know I am guided, capable, and connected to something greater. This kind of alignment changes everything about the way you move through life. When you believe in yourself, your actions become more intentional, your decisions become clearer, and your energy becomes more grounded. You are no longer acting from fear or desperation, but from a deep trust that you are meant to be exactly where you are, doing exactly what you are doing. This trust allows you to approach new opportunities without shrinking, to embrace growth without apologizing for wanting more, and to step forward without constantly guessing whether you deserve success or happiness. When you align with your inner truth, you naturally begin to express the best parts of yourself. your creativity, your compassion, your courage, and your resilience. Self-belief also frees you from the need for external validation. When you are aligned with your own worth, you no longer rely on the approval of others to determine the direction of your life. You stop chasing praise and start pursuing purpose. You stop living according to other people's expectations and start listening to the deeper guidance within you. This inner alignment creates a sense of peace because you are no longer divided between who you are and who you pretend to be. You start living authentically, speaking honestly, and choosing paths that feel right to your soul, not just acceptable to society. When you believe in yourself, you naturally attract experiences, people, and opportunities that resonate with that belief. Your energy becomes clearer, your presence becomes stronger, and your intentions become more powerful. You begin to notice that life flows more smoothly, not because every challenge disappears, but because you face each moment with a sense of inner steadiness. You are aligned with your purpose, your values, and your truth. And this alignment becomes a guiding light that helps you navigate uncertainty with confidence and grace. You came into this world already carrying everything you would ever need to rise, grow, and become the fullest version of yourself. Most people spend their lives searching outside themselves for strength, guidance, and approval, not realizing that the greatest resources are already within them. Imagination, intuition, resilience, creativity, and the ability to choose. These are not qualities you acquire over time. They are gifts that were woven into you from the very beginning. When you understand this truth, you stop feeling incomplete or inadequate because you recognize that nothing essential is missing from you. You are not waiting to be fixed or filled. You are learning to uncover what is already there. Your imagination allows you to shape possibilities long before they exist in physical form. Every invention, every goal, every transformation begins as a thought. When you allow your imagination to work freely, you open doors to new paths that doubt and fear often keep closed. Your intuition is another powerful internal guide, that soft, quiet voice that nudges you in the right direction when logic becomes foggy. It is an inner compass that has led you away from harm, toward opportunities, and through decisions that shaped who you are today. Many overlook their intuition because it does not shout, but when you trust it, it becomes one of your greatest strengths. You also carry resilience, the innate ability to recover, adapt, and continue despite difficulties. Even if life has knocked you down, the fact that you stand where you are today proves your strength. Resilience is not something only the strong have. It is something every person possesses. Some just need to recognize it. Alongside resilience is creativity, not limited to art or music, but reflected in the way you solve problems, think differently, or find new ways to navigate challenges. Creativity is the energy that helps you reimagine your circumstances and create a life that aligns with your inner truth rather than your outer limitations. And finally, one of your greatest inner tools is your ability to choose. In every moment, you have the power to choose a new thought, a new belief, a new action. This power is what allows you to rewrite your story, shift your direction, or rise above old patterns. Even when circumstances feel heavy, the ability to choose your response gives you freedom from being defined by what happens around you. When you understand that everything you need is already within you, life begins to feel less like a struggle and more like a process of awakening. You start trusting your inner resources instead of seeking permission or approval from the world, and in doing so, you awaken the deep strength, wisdom, and potential that have been a part of you all along. Your inner conversation is the silent architect of your reality, shaping your emotions, decisions, and the direction your life naturally moves toward. Many people underestimate how powerful their self truly is. They speak harshly to themselves, repeat old doubts, and rehearse fears without realizing that these internal dialogues are creating the lens through which they view the world. When your inner voice is filled with uncertainty, life appears uncertain. When you speak to yourself with discouragement, opportunities seem distant and unreachable. The world mirrors the energy you carry inside, responding to the beliefs you hold about yourself and what you think you deserve. This is why changing your life does not begin with changing your circumstances. It begins with changing the way you speak to yourself. Your mind listens to everything you say, and it takes those words as instructions. If you consistently tell yourself that you are not good enough, not ready, or not capable, your actions will follow that belief. You will hesitate, you will shrink, you will miss chances that could have moved your life forward. On the other hand, when your inner voice speaks with encouragement, possibility, and strength, you begin to act in ways that align with that confidence. You stand taller, think bigger, and make choices that open new doors. Life starts reflecting back the belief and certainty you project. The conversation you have within becomes the script you act out in the world. This inner dialogue also influences how you handle challenges. A negative inner voice will convince you that obstacles are signs you should give up or that difficulty means you are unqualified. But a positive inner conversation transforms challenges into reminders of your resilience. Instead of seeing setbacks as failures, you begin to see them as growth. You recognize that every successful person has faced difficulties, and your inner voice becomes a coach rather than a critic. When your inner dialogue supports you, you face challenges with clarity and determination instead of fear or doubt. Your inner conversation shapes your relationships as well. When you speak kindly to yourself, you naturally speak kindly to others. When you respect your own worth, you set healthier boundaries, make wiser choices, and attract people who reflect that same respect. The energy you hold within becomes the energy you bring into every interaction, shaping the connections you create. Most importantly, life responds to the confidence, certainty, and trust you cultivate within. When you shift your inner dialogue from doubt to belief, from fear to possibility, you change your vibration, your presence, and your direction. The world begins to align with the story you tell yourself, proving again and again that your inner conversation is one of the most powerful forces shaping your life. A seed is one of the simplest yet most powerful reminders of the potential that lies within every human being. At first glance, a seed appears small, fragile, and insignificant. It does not look like a towering tree, a blooming flower, or a source of shade and nourishment. Yet within that tiny shell is a complete blueprint for growth, expansion, and transformation. It does not need to search outside itself for instructions on how to become what it is meant to be. Everything required for its unfolding is already encoded inside. This is the same truth that exists within you. You carry a blueprint for greatness, for strength, for creativity, for resilience, and for growth. Many people spend their lives believing they need something external, approval, circumstances, education, or perfect timing, before they can become who they are meant to be. But just like the seed, your potential is not dependent on anything outside. It is an inner truth waiting for the right conditions to be activated. A seed does not question whether it has the right to grow. It does not compare itself to the other seeds around it or wonder whether it is worthy of becoming a mighty tree. It simply follows the natural pull of life within it. This is a powerful lesson. You are wired for growth. You are meant to rise, expand, and unfold into the best version of yourself. The doubts that cloud your thinking are not reflections of your limits, but reflections of past conditioning. Your true nature is one of strength and possibility. When you begin to trust what is inside you, you stop hesitating and start growing. You stop shrinking your dreams and start allowing them to take shape. The seed also reminds us that growth begins invisibly. When it is planted in the soil, nothing seems to happen for a while. It appears quiet on the surface, but beneath the ground, roots are forming, foundations are strengthening, and the seed is preparing to break through. Your growth often follows the same pattern. There are seasons where results are not visible, where progress feels slow, and where you wonder if anything meaningful is happening. But these hidden seasons are vital. They are the times when your character develops, your clarity sharpens, and your inner strength deepens. Just because you cannot see the progress yet does not mean it is not unfolding. When you acknowledge that you are encoded with greatness, you stop waiting for permission to grow. You begin nurturing your inner potential the same way soil nurtures a seed, with patience, trust, and steady action. And as you do, you begin to witness the quiet miracle of becoming more of who you already are. Challenges often appear in life as heavy, unwelcome obstacles, but when looked at with deeper awareness, they reveal themselves as invitations, opportunities calling you to rise into a stronger, wiser, and more expanded version of yourself. Many people see challenges as signs that they should stop or that life is unfair. But challenges are rarely meant to break you. They are meant to shape you. Every struggle you encounter carries within it a lesson, a message, or a form of growth that comfort could never provide. When something becomes difficult, it is often because life is nudging you out of old patterns, pushing you into new territory, or preparing you for something greater than what you have known before. In this sense, challenges do not interrupt your path, they refine it. When you begin to approach difficulties with the mindset that they are invitations rather than barriers, your entire experience changes. Instead of feeling defeated or overwhelmed, you become curious. You begin to ask yourself what this moment is trying to teach you, what strength it is calling you to develop, or what old belief it is helping you release. This shift in perception allows you to stay grounded even in moments of uncertainty. You start to realize that every person who has ever grown, succeeded, or transformed has done so because they faced challenges and allowed those experiences to elevate them rather than diminish them. The very struggles you wish would disappear are often the ones responsible for awakening your potential. Challenges also reveal parts of yourself you never knew were there. When you are tested, you discover your resilience, your patience, your creativity, and your endurance. You tap into abilities and strengths that remain hidden when life is easy. Think about moments when you faced something difficult and emerged stronger. At the time, it may have felt overwhelming, yet afterward, you carried a new sense of capability. This is how challenges work. They expand you from within, allowing you to experience your own power in ways you might not have chosen voluntarily. When a challenge shows up, it is life's way of saying, there is more in you than you realize. Step further. Instead of shrinking, you learn to lean into the experience with trust. You recognize that the discomfort is temporary, but the growth it produces is lasting. Even when the challenge doesn't make sense, you begin to trust that it has a purpose. Over time, you no longer fear challenges. You understand that they are preparing you for the opportunities and responsibilities that await you. Every challenge invites you to rise, not by force, but by becoming more aligned with your strength, wisdom, and inner truth. When you begin to trust yourself deeply, something shifts inside you. You stop living for the approval of others and start living from the quiet authority of your own inner voice. For much of life, people are conditioned to seek validation, to wait for someone else to tell them they're good enough, smart enough, or ready to take the next step. But self-trust dissolves that dependency. It allows you to stand firmly in your own truth without constantly questioning whether your choices fit someone else's standards. When you trust yourself, you begin to realize that your purpose does not need permission, and your dreams do not require external confirmation. You become the one guiding your life, and that inner certainty creates a sense of freedom that nothing else can provide. Self-trust also clarifies your direction. When you no longer doubt your own instincts or intuition, decisions become easier. You stop hesitating at every crossroads because you know that whatever path you choose, you will navigate it with strength and wisdom. This inner clarity makes you more decisive, more confident, and more grounded. You are no longer tossed around by people's opinions or societal expectations. Instead, you act from a place of alignment, making choices that reflect who you truly are rather than who others think you should be. This is the foundation of living a purposeful life, the courage to follow what resonates within you, even if it does not match the expectations around you. As you begin trusting yourself, you also start to express yourself more authentically. You speak more openly, share your ideas without fear, and pursue opportunities that once intimidated you. You stop shrinking to appear acceptable and begin expanding because you finally understand that your voice matters. You no longer silence your dreams to fit the comfort of others. You realize that your unique gifts, perspectives, and talents are meant to be expressed, not hidden. And with that realization comes a new level of confidence that empowers you to step into roles, relationships, and experiences that align with your purpose. This self-trust naturally reduces the need for external approval. When you stand firmly in your own worth, praise becomes a pleasant bonus, not a requirement, and criticism becomes feedback rather than a threat. You stop living reactively and start living intentionally. People sense this shift. Your energy changes, your presence strengthens, and you attract opportunities that resonate with your inner certainty. Doors open more easily because you are no longer approaching life from a place of doubt, but from a place of confidence and clarity. In trusting yourself, you create a foundation that allows your purpose to surface, and your life to expand in ways you once believed were reserved for others. You are not defined by your past, no matter how heavy or complicated it may seem. Many people carry the weight of old mistakes, missed opportunities, or painful experiences as if they are permanent chains that determine what they can or cannot achieve. But the truth is that your past is simply a collection of events, lessons, and memories. It is not a prophecy of your future. You have the power to reinterpret those experiences, to extract wisdom from them, and to use them as stepping stones rather than barriers. Your present moment, your choices right now, are far more powerful in shaping your life than anything that has already happened. The past can inform you, guide you, and even inspire you, but it cannot dictate your potential unless you allow it to. Understanding that you are empowered by the possibilities of the present shifts your perspective from limitation to opportunity. Every moment offers a fresh canvas on which to paint your life, and the colors you choose are determined by your mindset and actions, not by history. When you accept that the past is no longer the ruler of your life, you begin to see opportunities where you once saw failure, lessons where you once saw pain, and hope where you once saw despair. This realization creates a sense of liberation, a freedom to start anew, to grow, and to create without being bound by old narratives. You recognize that you are not repeating patterns by necessity. You are choosing your next steps with awareness, intention, and courage. Embracing the possibilities of the present also requires taking responsibility for your life without guilt or shame. You acknowledge that certain things happened, but instead of letting regret control your emotions, you use your experiences as fuel for growth. You begin to focus on what you can do now, on how you can respond differently, and on how you can align your actions with the person you want to become. This mindset transforms challenges into lessons and mistakes into wisdom, allowing you to cultivate resilience and clarity. By acting in the present, you reclaim your personal power and create a life that reflects your true potential. When you understand that your future is not limited by your past, you approach life with curiosity, courage, and openness. You are willing to try new things, take risks, and pursue goals that once felt out of reach, because you know that every moment is a chance to redefine yourself. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the author of your story, empowered to write new chapters filled with possibility, growth, and fulfillment. The present becomes your playground of potential, offering endless ways to step into a life aligned with your inner truth. The expansion of your life is directly connected to the strength of the belief you hold in yourself. Every action, decision, and opportunity flows from the confidence you cultivate within, and the greater that confidence, the broader and richer your experiences become. When you believe deeply in your own abilities, your ideas, and your worth, you begin to act from a place of empowerment rather than hesitation. You stop holding back out of fear or self-doubt, and instead, you step boldly into the situations that can transform your life. This internal belief sets the standard for what you allow into your life and what you pursue, shaping not only your behavior but also the energy you project into the world. People, circumstances, and opportunities naturally respond to that energy, opening doors that would remain closed to someone who doubts themselves. Belief in yourself also affects the scale of your ambitions. When you underestimate your potential, you unconsciously limit your goals, settling for what feels safe or achievable, rather than aiming for what truly resonates with your purpose. But when your belief in yourself is strong, your vision expands. You dare to dream bigger, take greater risks, and pursue paths that challenge you, knowing that you have the capacity to rise to the occasion. This does not mean that you will never face obstacles or failure. It means that your inner confidence equips you to navigate challenges with resilience and persistence. Every step you take is infused with the understanding that you are capable, resourceful, and equipped to handle what lies ahead. Furthermore, a strong belief in yourself cultivates consistency and perseverance. Life often requires sustained effort over time, and without self-belief, it is easy to abandon your goals at the first sign of difficulty. Confidence acts as an anchor during challenging periods, reminding you of your capabilities and keeping you focused on your vision. Each small action becomes meaningful because it is backed by the understanding that you are capable of achieving more than you might have thought possible. In this way, belief becomes both the fuel and the compass, guiding you toward growth, accomplishment, and fulfillment. Believing in yourself also reshapes the way you interact with the world. You approach opportunities with courage, make decisions with clarity, and express your ideas with authority. This energy attracts people and circumstances that align with your belief, reinforcing a cycle of expansion. The stronger your belief, the more expansive your life becomes, because confidence allows you to move beyond fear, limitation, and hesitation, creating space for new experiences, growth, and possibilities to manifest in ways that reflect your inner strength. You are far stronger than your fear and more capable than your doubt, even when it feels like the opposite. Fear and doubt are natural parts of the human experience, but they are not indicators of your true potential. They are signals, sometimes loud, sometimes subtle, meant to be acknowledged, understood, and then moved through. Many people allow fear to dictate their actions, convincing themselves that they are not ready, not capable, or not deserving. Doubt often amplifies these fears, creating a cycle that keeps you small, hesitant, and confined within the limits of your own mind. Yet beneath these emotions lies a deeper truth. Your capabilities, resilience, and resourcefulness far exceed what fear would have you believe. Recognizing this is the first step in breaking free from limitations and stepping fully into your power. Fear and doubt often present themselves as obstacles, whispering that failure is inevitable or that you are insufficient. The moment you decide to face them, you discover that their power is far smaller than your own. Courage does not mean the absence of fear, it means taking action despite it. Each time you confront fear and move forward, you expand your confidence, proving to yourself that you are stronger than the emotions that once held you back. Doubt functions similarly. It is a signal to pay attention, to question, and to prepare, but it does not define your ultimate ability. When you act in spite of doubt, you demonstrate to yourself that it is not a barrier but a guide, one that can be transformed into motivation and clarity. Acknowledging your strength and capability also requires remembering your past victories. Reflect on times when you faced uncertainty, yet managed to overcome it. Each success, no matter how small, is evidence that you have the inner tools to navigate life's challenges. By consciously reminding yourself of these experiences, you strengthen your sense of self, trust, and diminish the influence of fear and doubt. Your mind begins to recalibrate, focusing less on what could go wrong and more on the possibilities that await when you step forward with confidence. This shift in perspective transforms fear from a stop sign into a signal for growth. Moreover, recognizing your capacity to handle challenges encourages action. When you know that you are stronger than fear, you stop procrastinating, guessing, or shrinking in your pursuits. Instead, you act decisively, trusting that whatever comes your way, you are capable of navigating it. Each step taken in the face of fear and doubt reinforces your resilience and builds momentum, gradually reshaping your perception of what is possible. This understanding is liberating, for it reminds you that fear and doubt are temporary, but your strength and potential are enduring.